Hello my dear students, welcome back to the class. After the revolt of 1857, when there was a rise of nationalism, India was under the control of British rule. So they wanted to free themselves from the British rule. They wanted to attain independence from the foreign rule. And third one is unity. That is very, very important. As a citizen of the country, as a nationals of the country, okay, it is the duty of every human being or every individuals living in the country to be united. So the unity should not be decided on the basis of caste or creed. So unity denotes feeling of oneness. We all are one. Though we live in different parts of the country, there should be a feeling that we belong to this country and we all are one. Okay, togetherness, common consciousness, okay, and all these things should be irrespective of class, caste, creed and culture. Class, caste, creed and culture. So there should not be any discrimination. There should not be any differences based on caste, creed or culture to distinguish our identity. We all are one. Though we live in different parts of the country, I live in West Bengal, you live in Maharashtra, others live in any of the states of India, we finally are the citizen of this country. We belong to India. Okay, we are identified as Indians. We are not identified by our state. We are identified by our country. So we have one single citizenship. That is, we are Indians. Okay, so there should be a feeling of nationalism in each and every individuals. We should be ready to fight for our country. We should be ready to sacrifice our country for our motherland. Okay, we should be ready to protect our country from the foreign aggression. So that is what we call patriotism. Okay, but during those time when British rule was there in our country, there was no such feeling of nationalism, unity was not there. So we saw in the revolt of 1857, it was a scattered revolt. Everywhere in different places, revolt took place, but finally it came to an end because it was not a centralized movement. It was not a movement of the entire country. Many of the peoples, they supported the British government, but those who were frustrated, those who felt that we need to free our country from the British rule, they came out of their houses and they went out to revolt against the British rule in the year 1857. Right now, after the end of the revolt of 1857, there was a gradual rise in the nationalistic feeling among the people. So, which are the factors which promoted the growth of nationalism?
As per the reduced syllabus, first two topics are not required. So, directly we'll discuss the socio-religious reform movement.
So, socio-religious reform movement, you know that the social reformers, they tried their best to reform the society. So, here we are going to discuss about two reformers, Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Jyotiba Phule. Okay, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Number one, let us talk about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, my dear, he was a great scholar. Okay, so definitely, my dear, he is also been referred as a man of Indian Renaissance, modern man of India. He brought modernization in our country. It was due to his effort, my dear. Consciousness was built among the Indian people. He was the one of the opinion that we need to free our country from the British rule, but before that we need to free our Indian peoples from the evil practices going on in our society. So we need to free. Okay, so Raja Ram Mohan Roy brought a social reform as well as religious reform. Okay, for that in the year 1815, he established an association called Atmiya Sabha. Okay, Atmiya Sabha. And through this Sabha, he wanted to propagate Hinduism. The idea of Hinduism was propagated among the people. And in the year 1828, Brahmo Samaj also was set up. And this Brahmo Samaj was set up in order to encourage people to believe in one God. So, lot of Lot of superstitious belief was there in our society. People had a faith in different gods and goddesses, my dear. So he wanted to know the truth, and after going through all the religious books, Vedas, Upanishads and all, finally he came to the conclusion that there is only one God. So he came up with the theory of monotheism, believe in one God, and he was completely against idol worship. He even preached against idol worship. Okay, idol murti puja, he was completely against it. Okay, so that is all. Now, apart from religious reform, my dear, he also tried to bring lot of reforms within the society. So what to do, how to do, he had to face a lot of criticism from the orthodox people from the Indian society. Right, they were not ready to listen to him. Whatever changes he was trying to bring, he was in favor of a girl education. He was in favor of women equality, women upliftment, and all. But people who had been following this system dominating nature, they were not ready to listen to it. So he had to face a lot of opposition from the orthodox people from our society, my dear. Okay, so still he continued. So with the help of Lord William Bentinck. Okay, with the help of Lord William Bentinck, in the year 1829, Sati Pratha was completely banned. Sati Pratha was, lot of evil practices were like Sati Pratha was there, widows were not allowed to marry, okay, female infanticide was there, child marriages were there, okay, girls were not allowed to go for schools and all. So lot of evil practices were there. So first of all, the first important evil was completely banned. So in the year 1829, Lord William Bentinck abolished sati system and was declared as a punishable offence. It was declared as a punishable offence. So if anybody is forced to go or commit sati, then definitely will be punished. Okay, and later on again Widow Remarriage Act also was passed, in which widows were allowed to remarry, because that time child marriage system was there. At the very early age the girls were married, and if by chance if the husband died, then whole life they had to lead a black and white life. Okay, nobody was there to look after them, so their life became hell. That is why, to give them color in their life, widows were allowed to remarry. The act was passed which was against the customs of the society. Okay, so this way, my dear, he tried to reform the society. He tried to bring reformation within the religion. In the religion, he taught to the people that there is only one God, we should believe in one God. The theory of monotheism was taught by him. In the society, it was due to his effort. It was due to the effort of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, my dear. Sati was banned. Okay, so government did it. So when we discuss about when we discuss all these things in the social reform in chapter number 1, there we found that the Indians were very much hurt because they thought that the British are interfering in their social custom. That is why in the year 1858, when Queen Proclamation came, she decided that they will not interfere in the social custom. But though all these things already had happened in the past. Okay, in 1829 sati was banned. So Indians were worried, wow, they are interfering in our religion. They have banned our pratha which we have been following from generation and generation. So this is all about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who is also been referred as a modern man of India. He wanted to introduce Western education in our country to understand the minds of the Englishman. Western education also was introduced, so definitely that also we'll discuss later on. Okay, now next one, another number is 2. Okay, number 2, it is Jyotiba Phule. He was the another reformer. He was the another social reformer, Jyotiba Phule. Jyotiba Phule was the another social reformer. Okay, Jyotiba Phule. So what did he do? So let us try to know a little bit about Jyotiba Phule. He was born in 1828. So he was junior to Raja Ram Mohan Roy, because in 1828 Brahmo Samaj was set up by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and in the same year 1828 Jyotiba Phule was born. So Jyotiba Phule was born in the year 1828. That is in Satara. Okay, Satara district in Maharashtra. He belonged to a definitely he belonged to a very poor family. He was working as a gardener. He belonged to the low caste family. Low caste family. Just imagine, low caste family. And he was a gardener. Okay. And he used to grow vegetables. And he used to grow vegetables. They were known as Fule or florist. They were known as Fule or florist. Those who sells flowers. Okay. So as his caste was very low, and that became the obstacle in acquiring proper education. So in acquiring proper education, his caste became the biggest obstacle. Okay. So that is why, what did he do? So he wanted to work for educating the girls. That is why he established first girls' school in the year 1848. In the year 1848, first school was established in Maharashtra for providing education to the girls. Okay. Then in 1854, okay, he also started to support widow remarriage. He started supporting widow remarriage. And then in 1873, Satya Sadok Samaj. Okay. Satya Sadok Samaj was set up. And what was the main aim of this Samaj society? The main aim was to help the sufferings of the common people, to bring out the sufferings, people out of the suffering, show them the right path. And he, in this path of social reformation, he was supported by his wife Savitri. Okay, Savitri Bai was his wife who supported throughout her life. Okay, and then, so what were the contributions? So definitely due to his hard work and social reform, my dear, he has been given the title Mahatma. He has been given the title Mahatma, and even he was also known as the father of Indian social revolution. Father of Indian social revolution, like father of Indian Renaissance. Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Jyotiba Phule was given the title father of Indian social revolution. Okay. So if we talk about his contributions, my dear, definitely he tried to uplift the education system for the girls. He worked tirelessly for providing equal status to the women in the society. Okay. He completely was against idol system, idolatry. He was not at all in favor of idol worship. Okay. He believed, though Vedas were there, he believed in Vedas. He felt that Vedas are infallible. True knowledge, we can get it from the Vedas if you understand it properly. Okay. He even established Arya Samaj. He established Arya Samaj for the spiritual awakening of the Hindus. Okay. Spiritual awakening of the Hindus, to teach them the proper religion. Everything is there in the Vedas. Only thing is that we need to understand it clearly. If we understand it properly, there will not be any problem. Okay. So he was well known for his work like Satyarth Prakash. Okay. Influenced the Indian struggle for freedom. Satyarth Prakash, Indian struggle for freedom. Okay. So the former president of India, at the time, the former president of India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, former president of India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, called him one of the makers of modern India. S. Radhakrishnan has called him, Jyotiba Phule, as maker of modern India. So definitely the credit goes to them. They were the one who understood the problem in the Indian society, which was filled with lot of evils. Women were treated as a secondary class. So they were to be uplifted. So if the women of the houses are given education, my dear, the family will become bright, my dear. They are the one who look after the family well. So if they are given proper education, if we treat them equally, if we give them importance in our society, definitely our country definitely will develop and become more and more modern. So today you see, it is all due to their effort, my dear. Many of the women now are in very good positions. Right? In many of the states, the chief ministers, lady chief ministers are there. Okay. In the Air Force also you see women pilots are there, lady pilots are there. Trains are being run by ladies, my dear. So this is what we call modernization, where we don't, that means bring any discrimination. We don't do any discrimination among men and women. All should be treated equally. So this is all about social reformation being done. Though it is given in short in your syllabus, if you want to discuss more about this, you can go through it. Many are Dayanand Saraswati is there, Swami Vivekananda is there, right? Likewise, in the Muslim society, Sir Saeed Ahmad Khan was there. He brought reformation. He tried to reform the Muslim society. Many were there. So here, just for class 10 ICSE, two things are added. That is, we need to discuss about Raja Ram Mohan Roy's contribution and Jyotiba Phule's contribution. Okay, so this is all about the socio-religious reform movement done by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the modern man of India, and Jyotiba Phule, who is also been regarded as the father of Indian social revolution. Father of Indian social revolution. Okay, so role of press. During that time, my dear, many of the Indian newspapers were there. Many of the Indian leaders, they had their own newspapers who edited them, and they tried to highlight the true nature of the British administration in the country. They wanted to make the Indians conscious what is happening in India. What actually is the British government doing in India? How is the exploitation going on? So that consciousness, that message was spread among the people through the newspapers. Okay, so it should be a role of press. One more we can add later on, that is literature. Okay, role of press. Now, during the second half of the 19th century, many of the vernacular newspapers were introduced, my dear, and that strengthened the nationalistic spirit among the Indian people. They became more and more conscious regarding their rights. They became more and more aware what is happening in the country. The messages which was shared through the newspapers reached to the people, and they understood what actually should they do for the country. Okay, so press became a main instrument through which nationalist Indians spread their messages of patriotism, okay, along with socio-economic as well as political ideas were also spread among them, okay. And not only that, nationalist newspapers criticized the government. They exposed the true nature of British administration. What they were doing was criticized, and they focused on the work of the British government, making the people conscious. This is what British government is doing, because most of the people were very much indifferent. They did not bother what is happening in the country. So it was necessary at that time to make the people conscious that this is your country and these Britishers are foreigners ruling over you by snatching your right. That was done, because that time it was not possible to go from one place to another or hold meeting all the time. We were talking about India, so how to spread the message all over India. So only means to spread the message was through writing, and that was done through newspapers. Okay, now press asked the Indians to unite. The messages were written in the newspapers to unite, to bring unity among the people. Why? To go against the British rule, to end the British rule, and to demand for self-government. Okay, newspapers, journals enable the nationalist workers living in different parts of the country to exchange views with one another. It helped them to exchange their views among one another. My views is different, your view is different, so that we can exchange it. Today we do it through a lot of electronic gadgets we have. We send SMS, we send WhatsApp and all through social media. We send opinions, create opinions of the people. So all these are there, but that time newspaper. Even today newspaper is very, very important. Though they have smartphones in their home, they have all the news apps, but still many of the people, they still read newspapers because detailed news is there in the newspapers, and which gives us knowledge also. Okay, and many of the English papers were owned by Indians. Many of the Indians own English newspapers like Hindu, Patriot. Okay, expose the tyranny of British planters, how the British planters exploited the indigo cultivators, how the people were harassed was exposed by these papers. Okay, then another name of the paper was Amrit Bazar Patrika. Even today it is there, Amrit Bazar Patrika. Okay, this Amrit Bazar Patrika, it criticized the government for Vernacular Press Act. When Vernacular Press Act was passed, this paper criticized the act. Why this act was passed? It was criticized by Amrit Bazar Patrika. Okay, so this were some of the many more papers were also there that played a very, very important role in arousing political consciousness among the people, as well as spreading messages among the people throughout the country to unite the people to go against the British rule and to end it, as well as to demand for self-government. Self-government, that means Swaraj, self-rule. Okay.
We will meet again in the next class. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.